Thursday. Hi, Isabel.
Hey, Fairy, how are you today?
Right, my love, it's wonderful to be back here to see your gorgeous face, your new haircut, and a hairdo, which I
Color, yeah, I'm
love.
not blonde anymore, huh?
With you. That's all that matters. You're the beautiful
I am
girl.
not gray anymore, although the gray is coming back, you know?
I am not gray anymore. I'm only white.
You're right. I love it. I love it though.
And I thought,
I can't wait until it's all gray. Yeah,
I don't know where I got the guts, but I did it, and I thought, forget
it's
it.
beautiful. It's
I'm leaving
wonderful.
it as is, I'm telling everybody, coaching everybody, be real, be yourself. And then I'm hiding myself under all these hair color. And I said, forget it.
Yeah, you save money and time, and you end up with
Sanity. More than money and time, my sanity.
yourself. And yourself, you get back to yourself.
It's just like you want to always look like when I was like 20 or 30 years ago. Why? Right now is white. Enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
it takes time, we resist to change because I have a good, oh, by the way, you look amazing in red.
oh,
I just
thank
love
you,
the
darling.
red on you.
Oh, thank you. And
I,
I love
yeah.
every color you wear.
We are at that age where, 40 plus, our bodies are
Sweetheart, you're
changing.
not don't compare yourself to me. I am old enough to be your mother. I'm 20 years older than you.
Yeah, but
Don't say
we're
that.
fine. Like age is the distant number, as you were saying earlier. But I
Always.
have two friends, different friends. Everybody's talking about how their body is changing. She's like, I feel like in 2 months, look at my body, look at this and look at that. And what I noticed is that both are closer to their 50s. So the body is changing and, hormonal stuff are happening. So
Acceptance is very, very hard, especially for a person like me that I was the fitness guru. I'm on the stage all the time doing everything that I was doing, like especially when I was with my boss, Billy Blanks, and it was the Taibo season, and I was one of the Taibo girls, and I'm on the stage, 200 people are following. And believe it or not, I was in my mid 40s. I was 46 when I got my black belt. So it was like then that I was doing everything, and I was still beautiful and slender and all of it. But guess what? The reality kicks in. And by the time I hit 49, I saw, oh, the dresses don't fit anymore. Oh, what is this skin here? Oh my God. And then I thought, I'm going to have to learn to embrace it and accepting ourselves for who we are. I mean, I'm saying that, but to this day, I complain to my husband. I said, oh my God, look at the wrinkle here. And then he goes, Farah, you're 66. It's okay to have it. And then I saw a client that recently had a facelift. And she's on and the neck lift at the same time. And she's in this neck support. Then their face in like bondage, the whole of it. The two eyes are her. And she's like this. And I said, really? You want to
I said,
live
maybe
like...
I prefer the way I look.
And I said, you do this to yourself for others see you younger than who you really are? Why?
Fairy, change is difficult. I was listening to a
Yes.
podcast yesterday, and I really like what the guy said. He's a marketing professor in Princeton, I think. And he was saying that actually, when we talk about midlife crisis, he said it doesn't happen just midlife. If you notice, a lot of things happen, when you were in the nines. And the idea came to me because you said I was 49. So when you're turning, 29 or 39, 49, 59, 69, you're leaving a decade to go into another one. And there are a lot of things that come with it. And he was talking about how the resistance, the change is difficult for everyone at every stage, not only when you're midlife, because, it's something new that you have to get used to. And when I remember when I, was teaching, doing change management, there is first, before you accept change, you always try to resist it, right? Because it's sudden, it's coming. So, and you want desperately to stay in the old state because it was comfortable, it was familiar. But for us, for example, who are coaches, we know that being comfortable is not great. Growth is not happening when you're comfortable. So when change is happening, it's uncomfortable, it's painful, and then you get used to it. And then you're comfortable, you're in 41, 42, 43. Right now I'm 45, I feel amazing. But I think it's going to be another story when I hit 49 before 50. Probably resistance is going to happen. And then once I am in it, I'm going to be comfortable in it until I'm 59. And then it will start over again.
Yeah, it really, I thought I'd be having such a hard time to deal with it and accept it. But really, just like what I was saying, change is difficult, but self-acceptance is the hardest things for all of us, men and women, it doesn't matter. Self-acceptance is the most difficult thing to do. That's why we do so much to
Why do you think it is? I have an idea. I have
what's your idea?
Why would you say? No, you tell me. Why do you think? And then I'll come with my idea.
That what? That self-acceptance?
Why is it so difficult to accept self?
I can only speak about myself, and that was because I was a very fat young girl. And when I started losing weight at the age of 21, when I went to England and I lost weight, the more I lost weight, the more I worked at, the more I looked prettier, the more the demand and I was being seen and I was being looked at and I was being admired. And then I came to America and I became a fitness guru, and everybody looks at me. I had a massive amount of black hair. I didn't have 6 packs. I had 8 packs in my tummy, in my belly, my muscles, and I was like so toned and beautiful. And everybody wanted that. And I was like, oh wow, it was great. 49 hit, and then it started going. But I was still being the guru. And as it was going, I thought, oh, it's going, but I'm still doing this and I'm still doing that and I'm still being looked at and all of that. Until when the pandemic kicked in and my knees really went bad and I couldn't do anything anymore. And then by the time I had my knee replacement, which was about a bit ago, everything started going, and I said, oh, where did she go? Where did Fari go? Where's that good looking woman? Where did she go? And I couldn't believe that I lost me being that pretty without having any choice in it, without having any saying in it, and because I'm so involved in spirituality, and this is what I preach to my client, be your own best advocate and accept yourself. The more I lost everything that I had in me, the more I thought it's time to let go of being the slave to how we look like and go deeper in and work from inside out and grow your spirituality, grow your love for your God. Somebody might think of a piece of a rock out there as God, whatever suits them. I'm not here to preach religion to anyone. I'm not religious. I don't want to believe in religion. I want to believe in me and God, and we're one. That's my belief, but it was difficult to be able to accept it, because I didn't have a choice to lose that woman with 8 packs, with a lot of hair. The hair left me, the color left me, the muscles left me. Not that I sat down and I started eating them and food wrong. I just don't do that. I'm not a smoker. I'm not a drinker. I drink maybe a couple of times a week, tequila, and I love it and I won't give it up. But it happens. Life changes on us, and it's difficult. No one has ever told me that life changes and you have to accept the changes. But because of my spirituality, I realized it's a new stage, is a new decade of my life, that it is what it is, that if I have this skin hanging here, I have to accept it. If I have these wrinkles here, they are my best friend. I've earned them. They've been with me through thin and thick and thin, however Americans say it, And when I began to fight it, it got me depressed. And then I thought, oh, I'm my own number one enemy.
I'm hearing a lot of things in what you're saying. The first thing that I heard is that, you didn't love yourself at first because of either the way people weren't looking at you, or
I
the
didn't look at myself. I didn't.
or the way you were looked at, you
Yeah.
know. And you notice that when you started losing weight, I hear that when you started looking like the standards that the outside world is defining, you started liking yourself, right? So what it made me reflect on is that we love ourselves not based on who we are, but we love ourselves based on the world expectations.
Society, yes.
Making me think of the book, the Four Agreements,
Agreement, yes.
when he talks about the domestication, and everything, meaning that we are born in a system, everything is defined for us, and we have to fit in that system. And so we are constantly trying to conform to a standard. And so we fight with ourselves. We can't love ourselves because we can't keep up with those standards, and nobody can. So I heard that, and I heard that your experience in life by growing up, you grew in wisdom, and with your spirituality, you came to a point where you started accepting yourself for who you were, with your imperfections. When you say, these are my wrinkles, they tell my story, and I love it, it means that you came far away. You came home, though, to yourself.
100%. 100%. Because we always want to, if anybody says, I don't want anybody to like me out there, they're the biggest liar. We always want to be liked. We always want to be admired. We always want to be seen. We always want to be heard. We always want to be loved. Every person in this world.
It's natural needs. Dan Siegel said, the attachment needs, the 4 S's, since we're born, we want to be seen, we want to be soothed, we want to feel safe, to be secure. So it's just almost like a primary need.
Yeah, I remember one time Oprah Winfrey was talking, and she said, everyone in this world wants to be seen, be loved, be heard, be admired. And she was at the peak of being very heavy. And then she goes, even I, Oprah Winfrey, with all this fame that I have, being this size, I want to be loved for who I am. And I've always said that before Oprah Winfrey says it, but before we want to be loved, we want to be seen and be loved for what we look like, and it's not going to work. So then you know what society wants, and you become it, and you're being loved and this and that. Not that it's a good idea to become something that society wants you.
You're slave to that.
But it's our upbringing. It's the culture that feeds us this idea. But when you get older, like everybody gets older, but certain times when you work on yourself, then you realize, it doesn't matter if I'm a size 20 or if I'm a size 2. Do I accept myself? Do I like myself? That's where the self-acceptance comes.
There are ladies that I know that are big, very big, but they are so beautiful because there is so much self-love in them that, I'm not sure I would like them if they were, slim.
Right. But if you ask them, between them and their true self, are they happy? They can be fantastic to you and I, but are they happy to themselves being the size that they are? If you ask them the true answer without even saying it to you, deep down inside themselves, 90%, 95%, they say no. They wish they would be lighter. They wish they wouldn't be.
I think there are most people that I know that are big don't want to be big, but I do know a couple of people who are big and they couldn't care less. And that's why the admiration, because they have overcome the weight of somebody else's look on them. They
Mhm.
have come to accept themselves, and that's the beauty of it, right?
Right, which
And,
is very
and yes,
minute
that's not
sensitive.
often the case. Mhm.
Yes, and that's come to the self-acceptance.
Yes.
Self-acceptance, when you accept yourself, then it's easier to go through the changes in life. When the self-acceptance is less, changes become more challenging. I
Mhm.
remember when I really had no self-acceptance, and I was, what was I? Just before I turned 30, and I was living in London, and I walked out of my marriage with my husband in London, and I wanted to go for divorce. I had no clue what self-acceptance. That's why I was the one who wanted to get divorced. I walked out of the house and I suffered immensely
Hmm.
because not only I didn't have self-acceptance, I had no knowledge of how to go through the change. I've been with this man for 7, 8, so how many years? Yeah, 7 years I was with him. 7 years. Oh my God, I'm 29, I'll be 30. What people think of me, what am I going to do? Oh Christ, what's going to happen? How am I going to? I was beside myself, even though I initiated the divorce. So change is, I wish
It's always difficult. It's always difficult whether you initiate a divorce or not. I know I'm going myself through a process of divorce, and it's hard,
Mhm.
It's always hard because again, it's change. In my case, I've been married almost 21 years, right? 21 years this year.
Wow, really?
So it's a lifetime almost, yes. I was young when I got married. I was 24. And so yeah, so it's a process. And I think we were talking about it earlier, talking about um I think hardship, pain is part of life.
Mhm.
And I think we just have to accept it. And I
Mhm.
think the suffering, not the pain, the suffering comes when we resist it. And I love the difference, I've heard between being in pain and being suffering. They say pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.
Mhm.
You don't have to drag it. If you accept it, it rises and then it falls. But when you resist it, you will keep resisting and fighting it, and that's when it becomes suffering. That's why it's long, and it takes its toll on you to the point where you get sick or you even die.
Absolutely. I mean, um, there's no point me saying to you, I'm sorry that you're going through the divorce. I mean, yes,
Thank
divorce
you.
is
You're sweet.
difficult, but I'm happy for you that you stick to the grounds and you do what you're doing, what you think is right for you, and then your children. And is it going to be easier one day? 100%. But that's about one day. How about today? How do you deal with it today?
One day at a time. One day at a time. Yes.
And I always say to everyone, like when you are going through divorce and these kind of a massive separation like that,
And this
for
massive
God's
changes in
sakes,
life.
yes,
Mhm.
don't do it by yourself. Don't
Mm.
do. This is a path that you want to walk by relying on someone. If you can hire a coach, then find someone that you can trust. Sometimes, like people call me and they just say, don't talk, don't say anything. We just want to talk. And I just sit like this and say, okay,
Yeah, that's good.
you
That's
know.
good.
And sometimes you just say, let me know if you want me to say anything. And sometimes I just sit in silence. But it really is important to know that this is not right now going through the divorce. It really is not a journey to go through it by
It's
yourself.
not a journey to be alone, for sure.
You must have support.
Yeah, but the support I think is key. That's why, or you go crazy, you go into depression. But I think I almost want to say there is two kind of loneliness. There is the inside loneliness, the heart loneliness that the kind that you fear, even when you have like 100 people around you. And I'm very lucky. I have a lot of people around me. I do have support. I have community, but it doesn't stop the loneliness, because the loneliness is inside. And for me, what are some of the the ways that I not resist, but that I don't even know if coping is a good word, because coping is not good. How do I live with it? When I'm lonely, then again, I sit and I write, I journal. I try to do some self-care. I go take a bath, I go for a walk. It doesn't prevent, I'm still lonely inside, I'm still hurting inside, but it's bearable. I can take it. And then again, it rises and then it falls. And then I can go on with my life, meet up with some friends, go do something fun, play with my kids or anything. But it's still, I wrote a post lately and I said, I'm not going to lie. It's difficult, sometimes it's very painful. These past 2 weeks were maybe the hardest yet. But I still feel amazing, right? I still feel good. And I stop sometime to, cry or write or do something. And then I go on with my life because I know where I'm going. I have trust, I have faith. And yeah, I do have a wonderful therapist. I have a coach. I have wonderful friends. Yeah, so.
Your tears, I always say to everyone, don't be afraid of crying. Your tears are your best friend.
I love to cry.
Yeah, crying is the best. I cry all the time. I mean, my God, all the time I cry. It's why not? It cleanses my soul.
It has to sometimes, it has to go, it has to fall. And we were talking about repression. I think it was offline. And that's so bad, the thing you repress. And sometimes, some people will resist, will fight their tears, or will be like, I'm sorry, I'm crying. You should never be sorry because you're crying.
Sorry and tears don't go hand in hand.
You should never, but people do that because somehow in the culture, it's negative. It's, we talked about vulnerability and we were looking up the Greek origin, and it was like, it's like showing off your wounds.
Yes.
Showing off what hurts. And society, culture, we have mixed up being vulnerable with TMI, too much information, oversharing, sharing private details. We think when we share private details, we're being vulnerable, but it's not that. Being vulnerable is sharing where it hurts.
Right. Yes. That's exactly right. Yeah. And one thing I have in 32 years of being a fitness trainer, being a coach, I've always shared with and encourage every single soul. They didn't even have to be my clients, but when I saw them in the middle of a gym or anywhere that I saw, I said, when you're going through divorce, when you're going through a loss of loved ones and all of that, yes, it's great to have lots of people around you, but your alone time should be involved with some kind of a physical activity, whether it's bicycling, running, swimming, weightlifting, yoga. I cannot tell you
moving your body
about the power of yoga, because being the black belt in Taekwondo, I can kick and I can punch and it feels fabulous. When I was a tennis player, I would hit the balls like so strongly that it would just like fly sky high, rocketed, and I was dealing with the emotions. But nothing resonates with your inner spirit. And I say that so powerfully because I so believe in it. Nothing helps your heart and soul and your emotions and your tears and your joints and your organs and your everything, like when you do a 1 hour yoga practice of what's available to you and see how. And when you say yoga, people say, oh, I'm not flexible, What the hell does that mean? You start step by step. Yes.
You practice until you get there. Yeah.
Everything has a beginner and a beginner.
We lack patience. We lack the patience sometimes.
Right. And the most limbered yoga practitioner, the most advanced practitioner, is always a beginner if they are in their humble self, you know. And I always say, when you're depressed, when you're down, when you're going through the divorce or a loss of somebody, give yourself the permission of doing that 1 hour 3 times a week at least.
Moving your body, yeah.
Yeah,
Every
moving
day.
your
I would
body
say
is
every day.
great. No, moving your body is brilliant. As I said, run, jog, tennis, I don't know, whatever
Correct.
you can do, go weightlifting. Moving your body is brilliant. But on top of moving your body, having that easy
Connecting,
one,
connecting with your body.
yoga movements, that it brings your outer world and your inner world to meet with each other. And when
Interoception.
you
Yeah.
do yoga,
Mhm.
there is something in the power of the practice of yoga that, as I said, being a fitness trainer, that I've been and doing everything under this sky as a fitness and being certified for it, not just doing it. Nothing has resonated with me and people that I've coached and trained like when they practice a little bit of yoga.
Mhm.
I have a client who is a doctor and she works 3 days a week, long hours. And then when I coach her and she's finished, she goes, I just have to see you at 6:30 in the evening when I get home. And when I get her at 6:30 in the evening and we work with each other, she is older, she's in her 70s and she's exhausted. I only use the wall and I do poses with her against the wall. And when it's done for 20 minutes and she sits and we start meditating into the coaching, she goes, what just took place?
Happen, yeah. She's connecting with herself, her body, her inner.
And she's a very professional runner. She's a professional horse rider. She's active, she's slender, but it's nothing to do with that. Is what do you rejuvenate inside out?
Yes.
When you do that, it helps you. So I highly recommend that. You might want to give it a chance yourself, my
I
love.
do. I have started doing some yoga. I do some meditation.
Right.
I think it's the same, connecting with my inner. One of the classes that I take, it talks about interoception. It's really connecting with the interior of your body, not only your senses, but also your organs, your third and second heart and all of it. And it's great. It's really great.
It's a wonderful thing to do. And like when they say, oh, you have to be in a church, that churchgoers might hate me by saying that, but it's the truth. You've got to be in church on a Sunday morning. I said, no, the person that is painting is.
I need to be at church on Sunday morning, and I do yoga too.
And I just said, the person that is going running forever, that's the church for them. The person that is swimming and that morning is church for them. Church has different meaning for different.
The connection with God is not just, on Sunday at church.
The change is difficult. Self-acceptance is difficult, but we only saying is difficult is not impossible.
It's not. No. Yeah. And I think it's just the patience, it's knowing that anything we practice, we get good at it. So it's just to start somewhere, right?
Amen. We're here for all of you, Sibel and I. We're always here to hear from you, to hear what you've got to say, your opinion, your ideas. We'd love to discuss this further with you every time we come. Every Thursday, the first Thursday of a month, we're here in this time, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern time. So feel free to come join us and
join our conversations. It's a conversation.
And let's make it be, as we call it, the worthy conversations. And let's help each other grow and become better in our lives. And let's spread the love.
I love that.
Isn't it?
I love that. Thank you, Ferry. It was great to be with you.
Thank you, my love. And thank you all for being here. And
we'll see you in August. Oh, my goodness. Time flies.
Yeah, this is Julie. You're right. In August, gee, half a year is gone already, people. So, yeah, let's keep on loving.
Let's keep on loving.
Day wherever you are or evening, and enjoy. Bye-bye.